Welcome back to Miracle Morning Mastermind. I love this. This is one of my favorite parts of the day. Um, had a powerful prayer walk this morning at 5 a.m. and just reflecting and asking for receiving wisdom and guidance and revelation and just having a good time connecting with my source first thing in the morning. And something powerful hit me in reflection as I was praying about today and praying for you all. What came to me was yesterday's topic was how to stop missing goals. Isn't that a powerful topic? like how to stop missing goals, because some goals are unnecessary to miss. Um, I'm not talking about something happens, but more like how to stop habitually missing goals, because it can become a habit. I mean,
Yeah,
it is a habit for most people, and it's not something to feel bad about or shame about. Most of us have not ever been taught how to habitually achieve goals. So how can we expect to habitually achieve goals if we've never been taught how to habitually achieve goals? So if you're like me, someone who was habitually missing goals, even basic goals, especially basic ones. I'm not even talking about like massive, major, especially even basic goals. Like there was a time where I was habitually missing basic goals. And so it seemed like this might become a little series, because in the process of learning how to stop missing goals, there's several different aspects that come up. And so yesterday we talked about um, missing the mark. Picture a target, a bow and arrow and a target, and one aims at the target, and the arrow falls to the ground before it ever hits the target. In the world of archery, that's called a sin, to miss the mark. And okay, so what do I have to do if I keep shooting at the arrow? I mean, at the target, I'm aiming for the bullseye, but I don't even hit the target at all. The bullseye, the next ring around that, the next ring around that, the next ring around that. Hopefully, I at least hit something on the target. And if I don't, does it make me a failure? Does it change my identity? Does that mean I'm any less than God created me to be? Does that mean I should start tearing myself down, beating myself up, criticizing myself? Is any of that going to help me hit the target the next time? Oh, wait, does that mean, wait a minute, does that mean I should just give up on trying to hit targets because I missed a target? So, okay, I missed a stupid target. I'm just going to stop trying to hit the target? What kind of life is that? So, it's not a license for me to beat myself up. It's not a license for me to speak less than myself and say things about myself that God isn't saying about me. It's not a license to tear down my self image with my own words. How sick is that? It's a sickness. It's also not a license for me to give up on aiming for targets. What kind of lie must I be believing to think that if I didn't hit the target the first time or the second time or the 10th time or the 20th time, and I've never been taught how to properly hit it in the first place, that I should just give up? That must mean I'm not the type of person that should hit targets, or I'm just not capable of hitting targets. What kind of lie is that I must be believing to think I'm not capable of hitting a target that I've never been properly taught how to hit by people who are good at hitting targets? So it's not a license to give up on target practice. Is that my subtitle? So let's talk about target practice. I'm no expert at archery. I've only used a bow and arrow a couple times in my life, probably, and tore up my forearm not doing it properly. But I've been to the shooting range, the gun range, what has a target. I love playing pool, which has targets. Some of you play golf, which has targets. I'm no basketball player, but I love shooting three-pointers. That's a target. And the principle is very similar. Let's take three-pointers in basketball. Darts, yep, thank you, Gene. Let's take three-pointers in basketball. When I aim for a basket to shoot a three-pointer and I miss the basket, there's only a few adjustments that I need to make if I want to start hitting more three-pointers. Number one, my elbow might be out of alignment with where I want the ball to go. Let me mute the line. And so if my elbow is pointed too far to the left or too far to the right, then the ball is actually going to go too far to the left or too far to the right. And so I might be missing the basket from left to right because where my arm or my wrist is pointed. Isn't that something I can adjust as soon as I become aware that that's the problem? In my Jim Rohn voice, the answer is, of course. Of course I could adjust that. Once I become aware that, oh, that's the problem. And this is why professional athletes have coaches. It's important to have somebody on the outside looking in because I might not notice that my arm is off or my wrist is off and it's causing me to miss the basket. It has nothing to do with my ability to hit the target. I can hit the target as long as I make some adjustments. Another thing I've noticed sometimes, so the first scenario, my ball almost goes in the basket or it hits in that direction and it's high enough to go in the basket, but the ball goes too far to the left or too far to the right. And so that's the adjustment from left to right. What do you call that? Horizontal? Horizontal adjustment. Now, sometimes the ball goes straight down the line where the basket is, but it doesn't have enough elevation to get above the rim. So it falls short of the rim. It falls short of the rim. In that case, that's when I realize I need more elevation. I need to use my elbow, for example, to catapult the ball up higher so it gets high enough to go in the basket. That would be a vertical adjustment. So if I keep missing the shot, does that mean, here's the lie that a lot of people fall for. Oh, I'm just not good at shooting three-pointers. What? There's no such thing as not being good. You just haven't made the adjustments yet. And you may not even be aware of the necessary adjustments. And then you keep falling for this lie that says because you were not aware or you haven't practiced making that adjustment yet, you now think you're just not good at it. And now you give up on the whole idea of achieving the goal. I don't know who this is for today. I know I needed to hear this message so many times in my journey. So I need adjustments. I need to figure out what do I need to adjust and practice making that adjustment. That's good news, isn't it? You mean I can be good at something that I wasn't good at? Of course. Of course. We can get good at anything. So, how to stop missing goals? Part 2. How to stop missing goals. Target practice. Practice. Be interested enough in a goal. Have a goal. Watch this. Have a goal that means something enough to you that it's worth practicing. Choose a goal that means something to you so much, that's so valuable to you, that you don't mind practicing and practicing and adjusting and getting better until you achieve the goal. Woo! Let me pause. Pastor Glenn, talk to us. And everybody, what are you taking away from this, and what are you going to do with it so far?
Yeah, it's Glenn Straughter, Sacramento, California. I'm an executive director and executive director maker. I represent Team Franco. Yes, sir. And you said it. Practice. You practice that you could become consistent at what's going to be what's going to offer you a favorable result. I caught it almost as soon as you started talking, and I know that's part of it anyway. And yes, sir. I have to be consistent in order for me to actually even get an opportunity to see a favorable result. Thank you for letting me share.
Woo! So good. Let's make some noise for the new. And what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to
That
be
takeaway.
consistent.
All right. Make some noise for next level, Pastor Glenn Straughter. Woo, woo.
Pastor Glenn. All right.
Yes, Pastor Glenn.
Who's next? Come on, give it to us. What are you taking away, and what are you going to do with it?
Gene Gallegos, Brighton, Colorado.
Yes, sir.
I am an executive director. I'm an executive director maker on the Bailey Boone Power Team. And yeah, you keep practicing, you make adjustments, and you don't give up. You keep going. That's what I'm taking away from it.
And what are you going to do with that?
I'm going to keep practicing and making adjustments and not giving up.
And what's the goal that you're practicing for yourself?
Executive director.
Ooh, you're in the right place. Let's make some noise for next level executive Gene Gallegos. Woo, woo.
Yes, Mr. Gallegos.
All right, Brother Gene.
Who's next? What are you taking away, and what are you personally going to do with it?
This Laverne out of Missouri City, Texas. I'm an executive director maker. I'm gonna just keep practicing. A shot, take another shot. It's all about consistently practicing, doing it over and over and over, making the phone calls for me to hit executive director, because that is what I want. Thank you.
Let's make some noise for next level Laverne Moore. Woo, woo.
All right, Sister
Let's
Laverne.
go, Miss Moore.
All right.
Woo! This morning.
So there's another breakthrough. And this morning, when I was praying for guidance, wisdom, and I asked the question, what else causes people to miss their goals? habitually. Y'all ready for this? Hope y'all ready.
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 And sometimes in my journey, sometimes in life, what causes one to miss the goal repeatedly has nothing to do with them, what they're doing. Let me say it a different way. Have you ever been doing everything right? It seems like you're doing everything right to achieve the goal, but for some reason, it seems like the goal's not happening. Am I the only one that's ever been there before? Like, I'm doing all the stuff I'm supposed to be doing, it seems, but for some reason, I'm still not achieving the goal. What is this? What is this? Resistance. Resistance. So, something that's not often talked about in business is the spiritual dynamic of achievement. There are two spiritual forces in this world. There have been times where I was doing what I was supposed to do, but I was being spiritually opposed. And the answer to a spiritual problem is not physical in nature. Spiritual problems require spiritual solutions. It was funny. I was at church on Sunday. I was visiting a church, and the pastor said something powerful. He said, "You don't fight thoughts with thoughts. You fight thoughts with words. You got to speak it. Speak it. That's a spiritual truth. You don't fight thoughts with thoughts. You fight thoughts with words. Words. Speak it. Speak the truth. Speak, declare victory. Speak it." So sometimes um, the solution I needed to break through and achieve my goals was spiritual in nature. Like, I was doing enough activity, I was doing the right activity, I was consistent in my activity, but something was still keeping me, hindering me from making progress until I opened my mouth and started to speak in authority, speak in victory, speak in power, speak in truth, speak in alignment with God's word. And especially if you are a believer, you have to remember that there are spiritual forces trying to oppose you, but they have no authority when you speak in authority. Whoever that was for, take it. However, there's another piece. There are how many spiritual forces? Two. So I just talked about times where I was being spiritually opposed by resistance, and that's the ungodly spiritual opposition. But there have been other times when I didn't realize God was hindering me. What? Why would God hinder me from achieving the goals and dreams that He showed me? Huh? That doesn't even sound right, does it? So I was led this morning to the book of Numbers, chapter 22. And there's a passage where a prophet, Baal, was on his way riding his donkey. And the donkey saw an angel, the angel of the Lord, with a sword drawn out, ready to strike. And the donkey refused to move. And Baal started beating the donkey. Why aren't you taking me in the direction that I'm trying to go? And then a second time, he tried to make the donkey move. And the donkey wouldn't move the second time. So he beat his donkey again. Why aren't you taking me in the direction I want to go? The third time, same thing. And finally, the spirit, the angel of the Lord opened up Baal's eyes, and Baal fell to the ground when he realized the angel of the Lord was there. And he says, why do you keep beating your donkey? And if you all remember the story, uh, the, the angel of the Lord allowed the donkey to speak and said, why do you keep beating me? Haven't I always like taking you where you wanted me to go? And he said, he actually talked back to the donkey. Yeah, because you won't take me where I want to go. But then when his eyes were open and he saw the angel of the angel of the Lord said, and I'm paraphrasing, you better be glad that donkey wouldn't take you where you wanted to go, because had that donkey taken you where you wanted to go, I was going to strike you down and kill you. What? The angel of the Lord. I didn't make this up. Go read it yourself. I first looked it up. When he put donkey in my mind, I went to Chat GPT and I said, what's the Bible story about the donkey that spoke? And then it took me, but then Chat GPT was kind of paraphrasing. I'm like, read it verbatim. Then I started reading it verbatim, and it was still missing context. And I said, let me just go directly to the source and look it up myself. And Chat GPT wasn't doing any of it justice, leaving out all kinds of details in context. So be careful with Chat GPT. Go straight to the source. So I say all that to say this as we wrap up. When I look back at my own journey, God already knows where he wants to take us, not only to bless us, just like we want to bless our children, but because he has a purpose, a bigger purpose, a bigger agenda, that he's got a vision, he's got a purpose, and we're privileged to be a part of that purpose. And there are blessings that come with being a part of that purpose and being aligned with that purpose. But there have been times in my life where I was trying to achieve a target, but neglecting certain areas of my own character development that were required in order for me to sustain where God was taking me. And I was trying to skip the process and go straight to the achievement, but skip the development. Come on, somebody. And so I found myself wandering over and over again, month after month, month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year, stuck at the same level, not because I wasn't doing it right. I almost feel like there were times where God blinded me and allowed me to forget certain things that would keep me from achieving. I'm seeing right now the Tower of Babel. Woo! Wow, wow, wow. I'm seeing the Tower of Babel, Genesis chapter 11, I believe, where they were so on point and on a mission to build this tower. God confused their language to keep them from finishing the tower. I feel like there's been times in my life where God allowed me to be confused with simple things, or me to forget certain things, and in order to get my attention so I could focus on the area of development that he wanted me to fix next. And if I wanted to speed up my process of achieving the goal, I needed to speed up my focus on that development in the area that he told me and wanted me to develop. Who is this for other than me? So sometimes the fastest way to start achieving goals is to find out what area of your life is God trying to get you to develop so he can promote you to the next level in a way that is sustainable. So when you get there, you can sustain it and bring him glory and not fall back. Pastor Dr. Floyd, What's your
Good stuff.
takeaway? Go
Good
ahead, bring
stuff,
us home.
Coach. I'm executive director maker from Kansas City, Missouri on the Letitia Randolph Power Team. Good stuff on this morning when you was first talking about the two forces. The Bible says that death and life is in the power of the tongue. And so we can speak those things as though they are. And so as we speak it into existence. But then as you turn the corner and you start talking about how God won't allow you to go certain places, and how the prophet wasn't allowed to go because it wasn't time for him to go. He wasn't developed possibly personally to be at the place where he wanted to be. What came to mind is that that is so true for us. That's why personal development is so important. But the other thing that is also important is that sometimes we want to bring people with us that God did not intend to come with us. Abraham, when he left, he brought a lot with him, and there was issues because of that. And there are some people we try to bring with us that it may not be God's intent for them to go with us, but we want to drag them along, and we wonder how come we're not processing as quickly or as powerful as we should. And so God is blocking that thing. And at times, and you open this up, Coach, because there are times that God is blocking that thing, not just because of us, but because of also who we are connected with. We're not connected with the right people to get to the place where God would have us to be. We may want them to get there, but it may be God's intent that they do something different. And so some people will attach for various reasons, but it might not be the right reason. And you'll find yourself being dragged down because they're not the right fit for where God is trying to take you. So he's stopping some things. And so there are some things, and I know for myself, there are some things I may want them to come and I want them to be a runner, but in all actuality, they are rescue. And so I need to have runners with me, not those that need to be rescued. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Make some noise for next level, Dr. Floyd Wiggins III. Whoop,
All
whoop.
right, let's go.
Ah, this was loaded today. So comment, if you're watching this, comment below with what your takeaways are, and a couple points to take away. One, just because you haven't been hitting targets doesn't mean you're not capable of hitting targets. Keep going to target practice and making the wise adjustments. Seek out wise counsel so you can make the appropriate adjustments. Model those who are good at that target, not anybody else. And so you can learn from those who are successfully hitting the target, consistently hitting the target, how you can adjust things until you hit it. Another one, have a goal that is so worth it to you that you're willing to keep practicing and mastering it and perfecting it and adjusting it until you get there and choose your next target. Another one is, don't try to solve spiritual problems with natural solutions. Understand that sometimes you may have the adversary may be coming against you, and that's not to stop you. It doesn't have any power to stop you. It's just an opportunity for you to use your spiritual tools, one of them being your tongue, and speak, speak, declare victory, declare truth, which means you have to be filling your mind with truth in order to speak it. I recommend studying the Bible and the truth and speaking biblical success principles so that you can take authority over the spiritual forces that may be trying to come against you, the negative spiritual forces. The next point was sometimes God may be hindering you from moving forward because there's something in your development process that is necessary for you to be elevated at the right time. So make sure that you are checking in and getting into spiritual alignment to figure out, okay, what in me do you want me to focus on next? And if I want to speed up my progress, I just need to speed up my alignment. What is it that you want me to change in my life? What is it you want me to transform in my character? What have I been neglecting that you've been putting on my heart to do something about, but I maybe be putting it off thinking I'll get to that later once I achieve the goal. But God is saying, no, take care of that now, and I'll help you achieve that goal faster than you can ever imagine. But I want you to take care of that thing in your life so that I can elevate you and you can sustain it, because I have a purpose. And I need you to have this type of development to be in this place to take care of that thing so that my purpose can be fulfilled. And yes, it may include blessing you, but it's not just about you. There's a greater purpose. Another takeaway, I don't recommend going against God, whether you're a believer or not. God has a plan and an agenda. And I'm not trying to get struck down because my agenda that I'm following opposes God's agenda. Baal was being asked by the king of that area to go and curse God's people, to do something against God's plan. And I was at risk of getting struck down and killed because he was opposing the unfailing God. God will never lose. So if you want to win and achieve goals, you might as well just get into alignment with God's agenda. And you can't fail when you're in alignment with God's agenda. And then Dr. Wiggins broke it down that sometimes there are people that are not designed to go where we're going. God gave us the vision. He said, we need to surround ourselves with runners. Sometimes we're surrounded ourselves with those who need to be rescued. And there's a place for that. But in order to go far, to achieve victory, you got to surround yourself with runners. You got to put your starting line in place. You got to get the key players on your team. You got to assemble the dream team that can help you achieve the dream. So let's go, family. Let's go crush it. This is part 2 of how to stop missing goals. Tomorrow, we'll do a recap and see what you all took away. Let's go practice it. Bring back your revelation. Comment below the video with your takeaway. Like the video, share it with somebody who can benefit from this in any area of life or business. It's time to go to the next level. Let's go make it happen. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Everybody,
Love
thank
y'all.
you. Love y'all. Bye.